Assign a task a due date that falls outside the project's time frame. You should see the conflict alert appear on both the projects and tasks databases. We get an error message telling us to ensure that the due dates of all tasks remain within the time frame of their parent project. Note that the timeframe property is dynamic, meaning that the texts in the error message will always be in sync with the displayed timeframe of the project in view. No need to manually update the timeframe in the error message. Let us set the stage. Imagine you've got a bunch of tasks whose due dates you need to schedule within the specified timeframe of the parent project, and you need to be 100% sure that all your tasks are always scheduled within this time frame without any error. How do you make it such that you are always absolutely sure that all task due dates are always within that specific date range, even when the original time frame of your project is adjusted? Well, that is what we intend to accomplish with this guide. Today, we are going to learn a project management hack in Notion that will help you detect and resolve scheduling conflicts between your tasks and project dates. To be sure, this tutorial is certainly not about Notion dependencies. While dependencies has its place, it works best within a single database. We, however, would be working with 2 or more databases. So there are 3 simple steps in all. I'll walk you through each step slowly so you can follow along at your own pace. Let's begin. Our first order of business would be to prepare and link up the 2 databases we would need. That is the projects database and the tasks database respectively. To achieve this, create a database called projects. This database will store all of our projects that we would create. In this demo, I added a little suffix to the word projects so that it can be visually differentiated from the other databases in this workspace. You might find this useful if you do not want to mistakenly link another similarly named database when attempting to use the relations property down the line. Rename the default name property to projects to make it more descriptive. Next, let's add a demo project. Say we want to build a spaceship. Let's add that. Now add a project timeframe property. This would help us define the start and end dates for this project and all subsequent projects. Let's also put in a time frame within which you estimate that our rocket project would be completed. If you'd like, you can place this database inside a callout block with a gray background. It's a small touch, but it helps visually separate the database from the rest of the page. Next, we want to create a second database called tasks. This will store all of the tasks related to our projects. Let's add a few tasks that will help us complete the parent project. Now add a task due dates property and assign dates to each task. You can also place this database inside of a callout block if you'd like. It's optional, but as with the project's database, it keeps things neat and consistent. To make everything easier to view, let's set this page to full width. This gives us more space to work with and ensure that we can see all our databases clearly along with any other properties that are added later. Still on the setup of our 2 databases, we need a way to get them to talk to each other and pull useful information between them. To achieve this, let's link our projects and tasks databases using the relation property. Now, back in the projects database, create a 2-way relation property that links to the task database. Toggling this button will make it a 2-way relation. While we're here, we might as well rename the properties to something more recognizable. Next, in the tasks database, relate each task to the build a spaceship project. To keep things clean, we will hide the relation property from view in both databases. For the next step, let's create 3 rollup properties in the tasks database. The first will be called the project start date. Be sure that you are pulling the earliest date of the date range. Next, add a project end date property. You can do this quicker by duplicating the first property and changing the relevant parameters to become latest date. Finally, add a project timeframe property. This one can be left to show the original content it's pulling. Once created, hide all three rollups from the table view to keep things tidy. They will come in handy real soon in helping us detect conflicts. For the final step of this build, let's set up conflict detection in the tasks database. First, create a formula property and name it alert1 project date conflicts. Put in the relevant formula to check if a task's due date falls outside the project's time frame. Here is a brief rundown of how this formula works. For starters, everything is powered by 5 actors which we would learn about. The very first character we encounter is called the if function. This function is basically saying, if A happens, then do B. The next thing to know about are the angled bracket operators. These work exactly like the regular greater than and less than operators we know from basic math class. However, when using them to describe time, we must see the angled open bracket as a comes before operator as opposed to the mathematical less than. Similarly, the angled close bracket acts as a comes after symbol instead of the greater than we are familiar with, as in 1st January comes before 2nd January or 2nd January comes after 1st January. Also, remember all those rollups we set up earlier? This is where we apply them. We have the date start and date end pair. As their names imply, these functions look at a date range and they tell us the earliest date and the latest dates respectively from that range. If you happen to be dealing with just a single date, Notion would by default assume the earliest time to be 12 AM of that day and the latest time to be 11:59 PM of the same day. So now, let's put everything we have learned so far together to interpret the first line of this formula. The first line is saying, if the project start date property comes after the earliest time of the task due date, then show us an error message. Let's think about it for a moment. If a project is scheduled to start on January 1st and end on January 31st, it would not make sense for any of its tasks to be scheduled anytime before January 1st or anytime after January 31st, right? So this is the job of the first line of this formula, to let us know if any task has a due date scheduled before the start date of the parent project. Now, moving on to the second line of the formula, we are introduced to a new function, the fourth character in the bunch, the OR function. Remember how we learned earlier that the if function says if A happens, then do B. Well, the OR function in this context serves as a kind of wingman to the if function, giving you some extra power to add more conditions to the original condition. To put it simply, the OR function basically allows you to tell the system, if A or B happens, then do C. So based on this new knowledge, we can interpret the first 2 lines of the formula as, if the project start date comes after the earliest time of the task due date, or if the project end date comes before the earliest time of the task's due date, then show us the error message. The logic of the second line is exactly the same as the first line. Essentially, it will not make sense to have the project come to an end before the due date of any of its related tasks. Apply the same logic to the third and fourth line of the formula as well. So putting our 4 possible scenarios together and using January 1st to 31st as the date range of our project, we get the following. Now, for the final line of this formula, we are introduced to the 5th and final character, the format function. The format function will convert anything into a plain text, also known as a string. Think of a string as basically any regular piece of text that you can easily copy and paste somewhere else. When you apply the format function to a date property, the date is converted to a text that can be read smoothly by the user along with the rest of the error message. In this demo, we are combining the initial string with the project timeframe property to form our error message. If everything goes right, the formula editor interface will allow you to save the formula. Note that pressing Ctrl plus Enter on your keyboard will also achieve the same thing. When you are satisfied with everything up to this point, hide this property from the table view. We would revisit it later. Next, create a second formula property called conflicts. The function of this property is to display an exclamation emoji to alert you if there is a conflict. This formula introduces us to a new function, the empty function. This function basically says, if property A is empty, then do B. In the case of this demo, the formula is saying, check the property for the error message we created earlier. If it is empty, then maintain a blank output. If not, show us a warning emoji. Note that an empty or blank output is indicated by simply typing 2 double quotations. The idea here is that the warning emoji will only show up on the conflict column if there is a date conflict between any task and its parent project. After saving the formula, drag the column towards the left such that it becomes the first column. Resize it to the smallest possible width using the checkbox trick. For the checkbox trick, you want to temporarily turn this property into a checkbox property. This allows you to reduce the width further. Update its icon to an exclamation mark and update the info box with a descriptive caption. Hover to see it in action. After reducing the column width, you can convert it back to the formula property. Don't worry, the formula we saved earlier would still be retained. It is important to have this conflict column visible on the task list so that we maintain the ability to see any conflicting tasks from a list without needing to open each page one by one. This is especially helpful when dealing with a long task list. Now let's tidy things up a bit. Open a task page and update the visibility of the properties. Set alert 1 to hide when empty. Then set conflicts, project start, project end, and project timeframe to always hide. These changes will apply to all tasks, both current and future tasks, so you do not have to update each one individually. Now, let's head back to the project's database to create a conflict alert formula as well. A conflict alert is also important here, so that in case you are looking at a project list and not the task list, you can immediately tell if a project has a conflicting task assigned to it, and you can resolve any alerts from there. To get started, create a rollup property and name it number of task date conflicts. This would count how many related tasks have conflicts. Next, create a formula property called alert1 date conflict and impute the relevant formula. Here is a rundown of how the formula works. We've already been introduced to the if and format functions, as well as how a blank output is created, so we can apply those here. Here is how to read the formula. If the number of task date conflicts is equal to 0, then leave the output blank. If not, print the error message. The implication of this is that the code checks the task database to see if any of them contains an error. If one error is detected, then the rollup will display 1. If 2 errors are detected, we get a 2, and so on and so forth. Ideally, we want this number to always remain 0, indicating that there are no errors and that all tasks have been properly scheduled. And so this is how the formula works. When you are satisfied, save and hide this property from view. It will also be revisited shortly. Next, still in the project's database, create another formula property called conflicts and impute the relevant formula. This conflict column works exactly the same way the conflict column works on the tasks database. After saving the formula, drag the conflicts property leftwards such that it becomes the first column. Resize it to the smallest possible width using the checkbox trick we learned earlier and update its icon to an exclamation mark. You can also add a helpful info box here as well. Hover to see it in action. Finally, open a project and update the visibility of these properties to keep the table view clean. Just as with the tasks database, it is important to have this conflict column visible on the project's list. By doing this, we maintain the ability to see any project that contains a conflicting tasks from just a quick glance at the list without needing to open each project one by one to be sure. To make detecting and resolving conflicts even easier, you might want to place filtered instances of the task list within the page of their parent project. To achieve this, you want to create a linked database view of the tasks database inside a project page. Filter it to show only the tasks related to that project. Then optionally, sort them by due dates. Now, let's test our system, shall we? Assign a task a due date that falls outside the project's time frame. You should see the conflict alert appear on both the projects and tasks databases. So in a nutshell, anytime any of the 4 conditions outlined in the saved formula is satisfied in the tasks database, we get an error message telling us to ensure that the due dates of all tasks remain within the time frame of their parent project. Note that the timeframe property is dynamic, meaning that the texts in the error message will always be in sync with the displayed timeframe of the project in view. No need to manually update the timeframe in the error message. And that's it. A simple, effective way to manage projects and tasks while 100% avoiding any kind of scheduling conflicts. We have learned a ton today while building this simple setup. We learned about how to set up databases and pull data between them using relations and rollups. We also learned how to apply a couple of useful Notion formulas to help us automate the detection of scheduling conflicts between our projects and tasks. Not to mention sparing us the stress and time drain of having to manually browse through lengthy task lists and still potentially missing something due to human error. I hope you found this guide useful. Let me know if you need further assistance in your Notion task management build. Thanks for being here. Until next time.